Heuristic evaluation, specialist reviews and cognitive walkthroughs are closely related methods that involve you and/or other UX specialists using your UX expertise to systematically and thoroughly evaluate a website, app, product or service against a set of usability principles and best practices to identify potential issues and areas for improvement. More specifically, a heuristic evaluation is a systematic assessment based on established usability principles. Specialist review is a broader evaluation based on an expert's knowledge and experience, and cognitive walkthrough is a task-based evaluation that simulates user thought processes and actions. Advantages: provides a quick and inexpensive way to identify potential usability issues and areas for improvement. Disadvantages: may not be as reliable as user testing, especially if performed by a single researcher or evaluator, or a team of inexperienced evaluators. Use when you need to identify potential usability issues and areas for improvement in a product or service, especially useful if time and budget is limited but you or your fellow researchers or UX team members are highly experienced and skilled. Number of participants. Can do it yourself in case you are highly skilled and experienced in design and human-computer interaction and UX, but ideally 3 to 5 evaluators should be involved. Time and effort. Low to moderate, ranging from a few hours to a week or longer, depending on the number and complexity of screens or processes involved. Cost. None in case it's done by yourself, or low to moderate if more evaluators are involved. Guerrilla testing is a rapid and informal UX testing method in which researchers approach potential users in public spaces, such as coffee shops or libraries, and ask them to interact with a product or prototype for a short period of time, to obtain quick feedback on a specific feature or design element. Advantages: quick and allows for immediate feedback on specific aspects of a product. It is also cost-effective because it does not require a formal setup or recruitment process. Disadvantages: due to the informal nature and short duration of sessions, insights are not as in-depth or comprehensive as full user testing. Sample bias may also kick in because participants are typically self-selected and may not represent the target user population, potentially skewing results. Another disadvantage could be that approaching strangers in public can be seen as an invasion of privacy and regarded as inappropriate in some cultures, and permission from landowners may be difficult to obtain. Use when you want to test early-stage projects or when seeking quick feedback on a specific aspect of a design. It is especially useful if time or budgets are very limited. Number of participants. 5 to 18 participants, depending on the scope of the test and the desired level of feedback. Time and effort. Very low. Guerrilla testing can be conducted in just a few hours or over a couple of days. Cost. Low. Involving the provision of a small incentive like a voucher, gift or a free coffee to users and maybe a small incentive to the owner of the space as well. Usability testing, also known as user testing, the best known and most popular UX research tool. In fact, many stakeholders think this is the only thing UX researchers do. It involves observing users as they interact with a product or service to identify usability issues and areas for improvement. We can distinguish between remote and in-person user testing. Remote testing allows participants to engage with a product from their own location, making it easier to recruit diverse users and offering cost and logistical benefits. In-person testing, on the other hand, takes place at a designated location, allowing researchers to directly observe user interactions and gather more in-depth insights from non-verbal cues and body language. While remote testing is more prone to technical issues, the choice between remote and in-person testing depends on the project's goals, budget, and constraints. We can also distinguish between moderated and unmoderated testing. Moderated testing involves a researcher guiding participants through tasks, offering richer qualitative insights and more flexibility, but requires more time, effort, and cost. Unmoderated testing allows participants to complete tasks independently, leading to more natural behavior and a focus on quantitative data, while being less time-consuming and more cost-efficient. Advantages of user testing. Provides insights into how users more realistically interact with the prototype or existing product or service, and it helps users to conceptualize your idea, as opposed to other less concrete methods. Disadvantages. Can be expensive and time-consuming to conduct, and may not capture all aspects of the user experience such as the non-digital parts of the omni-channel user journey. Use when you need to identify usability issues and opportunities for improving a prototype or existing product or service. This should frequently be the case because put something concrete in front of customers as early as possible, even if it is still an early-stage low-fidelity prototype like a paper sketch, even if just testing a small early idea when using other research techniques. Number of participants. 5 to 15 participants per segment. Time and effort, low to moderate. It can range from a few days to weeks, depending on session duration, which depends on the number of screens and features tested, and number of participants. Quick unmoderated user testing using user testing platform tools can generate large amounts of insights within hours. Cost. Low to moderate, depending on session duration and number of participants. A usability test often includes a series of questions about where a user thinks they should click or tap on the screen as they progress through the process, which can also be used as a standalone research technique, known as a first click test, as described next. It is also the first technique in information architecture or navigation structure to be discussed. A first-click test is a UX research method that measures the effectiveness of interface design by analyzing users' initial clicks to complete a task. You simply present a screen to the participant and ask where on the screen they think they should click to accomplish a goal or task or to get specified information. The results are important to optimize the navigation of a website, app, or software product because users must always intuitively know what to do at any moment in time on a screen. Advantages. Quickly assesses design clarity and intuitiveness, identifies navigational issues, and very quick and easy to set up and analyze. Disadvantages. Limited in scope because it focuses on the task of tapping or clicking on the presented screen only, therefore may not reveal deeper usability issues. Use when? At any design stage to evaluate the navigation of a website or app, because it is always critical that a user knows where to tap or click next to start, progress, or complete a task. Number of participants. 5 to 18 participants. Time and effort. Very low. Cost. Very low. Card sorting is a technique used to understand how users organize information and categorize content by asking them to sort cards with keywords written on it into groups that make sense to them, and to name those groups. This helps to design information architecture or navigation structure in a way that makes sense to users so that it is easier and quicker for them to find information or functionality. Card sorts can be remote or in person, moderated or led by a facilitator or researcher, or unmoderated or automated with software. There are 3 types of card sorts, namely open card sorts where users are free to create and name categories for cards to be sorted into, closed card sorts where users just have to sort the cards into predefined categories, and a hybrid approach. Advantages of card sorting. Even small improvements in navigation structure can produce large improvements in user friendliness, and it can be a relatively quick and simple exercise for simple apps or websites. Disadvantages. Can be time-consuming, complex to analyze for large sites, and do not capture other aspects of the user experience. Use when? When you need to improve information architecture and navigation of a user interface. Number of participants. 14 to 22 participants, but more in case users are from very different cultural, language backgrounds, and in case the difference between basic and advanced users are huge. Time and effort. Moderate, ranging from a few days to a few weeks, depending on interface complexity. Cost. Low to moderate, depending on number of participants, their incentive cost, and interface complexity. Tree testing, also known as a reverse card sort or treejack test, is a UX research method used to evaluate the effectiveness of a website or app's information architecture, IA, or navigation structure. It involves presenting users with a text-based, hierarchical structure, the tree, of the site or app's content, and asking them to navigate through it to find specific items, without the influence of visual design or navigation aids. Advantages. Great technique to focus on and optimize information architecture or menu structure, without being distracted by any other design elements. Also, larger-scale card sorts may provide measurable data, such as task completion rates and time on task, enabling clear comparisons and performance benchmarks. Disadvantages. Focuses solely on information architecture, therefore does not produce insights for other important aspects of UX, such as visual design, interaction, or content. When to use. Tree testing is best suited for evaluating and refining a website or app's information architecture, either during the early design stages or as part of a redesign process. Number of participants. 15 to 35 participants, depending on the complexity of the IA and desired level of feedback. Time and effort. Low to moderate. Depending on site complexity, it takes a few days to weeks, including preparation, data collection, and analysis. Modern digital tools can greatly reduce time and effort from recruitment to automatic analysis and data presentation, reducing time to a few hours for simpler websites. Cost. Very low to moderate. While there may be costs associated with participant recruitment and potentially using tree testing software, tree testing is generally considered very cost efficient.